You're right. Oh my.
I was bad, honey. I was a bad mother to you.
Not all the time.
So the film Stockton to Table Rock was co-developed with Elliot, Chuck, and myself. And some of the scenes were developed from my memories. I have a very tumultuous relationship with my mother. I've actually been no contact for almost 5 years now, I think. And so a lot of the flashback scenes especially are taken directly from my memories.
One day I kind of just asked her, like, I would like to take a crack at it. I would like to take those 4 or 5 scenes that she had and then kind of create a fictional architecture that would make those scenes make sense. And I knew at the time that I didn't want it to be 100% autobiographical.
One, it's not narratively interesting. It would make for a very long, drawn-out, 30-year-long story. And 2, we were really interested in the perspective of a high school senior.
Can I borrow your drink?
You 2 are late.
Obviously, when you're dealing with a coming-of-age story, you're playing in an area where a lot of other people have made their mark, both in terms of just really shitty movies and also really great ones. You know, you have the great coming-of-age stories like 400 Blows, Squid and the Whale, Ghost World.
So I remember viscerally one evening that we had scheduled for Bradley to interview me. And he asked me a lot of questions about my past and about my relationship with my mother. Overall, I think that really did inform the process of the script development.
And I just wanted to find something that was like where we could actually make a unique statement on the coming-of-age genre and also just a unique statement on coming-of-age in general. And I think what we landed on was unique because every single one of those coming-of-age stories always have some sort of tumultuous relationship with a parent figure, and every single one of them says you need to forgive your parents and you need to be a family again. And that's the one thing that Stockton to Table Rock does not say at all. So I am proud about that.
I have found that this is not my story to shoulder alone. There are so many people that also share this story, and that has helped me heal immensely.
I guess I'm very terrified of walking into a set and not having at least some sort of mental schematic of how the scene should be cut together at the very end.
It's almost like there's rules that can help guide you into creating a quote cinematic image.
In terms of shot planning, I'm usually just looking at, I just note card everything. One shot is a note card, and then I know if I checked off all the note cards in the given day, I know that I can cut something together that will look like a movie.
Shooting Stockton to Table Rock 100% handheld, I ended up 15 pounds lighter than I currently am. I definitely was in some solid shape. Oh my God, putting my arms up after holding, the camera's like, the whole rig is 15 pounds and I'm carrying that the whole time. And so just like trying to hold it up there, and you're pulling your own focus. And on moving shots, it's quite the challenge, but hopefully I did it justice.
Super important to make sure that the audio is not distracting from the image and from the story. Objective, you would have, the noise of the environment, the wind through the trees, and then you want to make sure that the dialogue is perfectly understandable and you want to make it as crisp as possible. And any other sound effects that happen, people walking, using footsteps, that type of thing. Whereas the subjective aspect of sound design, that's when you get to be more creative and use things like additional reverb or delays or heavy-duty filtering, which means you kind of cut the vocals or sounds in the environment to where you can only hear the bass or you can only hear the treble end of the spectrum, and it pulls the audience into the head of the person that's experiencing that, along with the camera work. It's something that's fun to try to seamlessly move in and out of.
You can't say, if you live on Stockton Avenue like I do, you can't say, oh, I am going to buy a mansion on Table Rock. You won't do it. It's too big. My mom says you can't expect that much from yourself, you know what I mean? But no. I think maybe that she's wrong because you have to believe you can buy the mansion. You have to believe that it is possible to buy the mansion. Otherwise, there is just no point in doing any of the small stuff every single day.
So Rory's arc to me is a story of discovery. She begins and she knows in the pit of her stomach that something is wrong with her relationship with her mom, but I don't think she knows exactly what it is.
So I have a theater background, and so my preparation tends to be all script all the time. That's where I start and end every time. And while I know people's relationship with scripts in film can be a little bit different than it is in the theater, I really have great confidence in good writing.
So she goes from desperately wanting to make her mother into this person that she thinks she should be to accepting that her mother is where she is.
One of the gifts of playing a character like Shelley is that you get to tap into those feelings and emotions and experiences in ways that would largely be inappropriate in your real life. So you get to open that part of you up.
When I get on set, I let go of all of the analysis. I let go of any preconceived notions I have about the scene, and I just try to exist in the moment like we try to do as people.
Okay, come on. Do you know sometimes your mommy can't sleep? Did you know that? Sometimes she can't. And you know what you do when that happens? When it happens, and it will throughout your life, you have to picture yourself someplace else. Imagine yourself some other place doing something really boring. That's why they tell you to count sheep.
Do you count sheep?
No. I imagine myself at work putting away all the glasses. There are a bunch of glasses, and I have to put them all up on the shelf. And if I focus really hard, I don't ever actually finish because I've fallen asleep. So, why don't you close your eyes and you try it, okay?
The best scores are those that follow the narrative arc of the film without turning into melodrama, that help you like understand the characters and add depth to the characters without kind of telling you how you're supposed to feel about it. The music is more like revealing something inside the character rather than telling the audience how they should react to that. I think that we initially thought it was going to be more guitar oriented because that's that's my main instrument, guitar and piano, and I was surprised that we actually landed on a lot of string sounds and that we found a way to use those that didn't feel melodramatic, that felt like it was accenting things without trying to push the emotion too far.
I think the pros of working with such a small crew is that everyone has to have 100% buy-in. If even one of us faltered, the entire film would crumble. So I think that's a huge pro, is that you are receiving 100% buy-in from everyone at all times.
The downside to that is all the different aspects of things that you have to take care of then, that you can't outsource or delegate to another person, and so you have to do more.
I like to say we didn't have a G&E truck, we had a G&E subcompact, but like on the call sheets, it's got every department and everything, and camera department, and it's just my name.
When you're playing a character like Shelley, you really have to find what your substitutions are, what the things are in your life that can get you as close as possible to who she is. And most interestingly, while we were filming, I was in the middle of treatment for breast cancer. So I was going to radiation appointments every morning while we were then filming in the afternoon. And there was a really interesting intersection that I found as we were working about coming face to face with mortality at some point. What do you think about? What happens when you start to realize that you could die? And while my experience, thankfully, was best case scenario all the way around, certainly you can't go through something like that without considering And I felt like much of what we're watching with Shelley in this week that we visit with her is her slowly contending with her own realization that she's potentially killing herself.
So the most exciting thing about working on this project was just the quality of the team. Everyone was pushing themselves way farther than they ever had been, like beyond their current abilities, and it was just really fun to be operating with people that are all pushing themselves. And that, like, I came in really motivated to work on the film, but as it went on, it was like even more motivating because I saw everyone else was going to work just as hard or harder than me.
I really enjoy every day on set, even when it's tough. I just really love being on set, and I really love, capturing drama within the frame lines.
I feel like my biggest aha moment was when we shared this script with other people and they told me that they could relate to this story. Like, it happened a lot and I didn't anticipate this. I thought it would be a really niche story that people thought was kind of weird and, oh, could a mom really be like that? But a lot of people have related to this story, and I think that's been the biggest realization for me personally.